My worthiness is measured in cup sizes and big booty. Integrity is dismissed and compromised. Body parts named, policed, and sexualized. They say it's the sway of my belle derriere, the clumsiness of my breasts, the fullness of my lips, and the arch of my back. Objectified by the media, my nudity is plastered on billboards and marketed in raunchy music videos and sex magazines. Bartered in foreign currency for a bit of the exotic experience and sold for consumption. I'm just an experiment. I'm a product of disrespect. Patriarchal society trashes my name with a twisted perception of my body. Lured, incapable of love, a belligerent woman with an insatiable sexual appetite. My tinted shade is salaciously appreciated with sexist comments but not pursued. Grope me in public. Bring me to my knees because somehow my history conditioned me to be a sex slave, and a rape culture is nothing but a myth.
My names are Caroline Miriam Achen. My stage name is Afroetry. Usually I just, put them all together as Caroline Afroetry MA. I also use that on social media. Afroetry was inspired by my own identity as an African, because I just took out the Afro from Africa and added poetry to it, and I created Afroetry because it appeals to me as an African woman and also as a poet. Well, I started writing in high school, but it wasn't so serious. I didn't do literature in school, but I loved poetry, and I loved books. So somehow it grew on me. Though I got serious, I think in 2011, when I applied for the British Council workshop on poetry, and I realized how good I am, So I eventually started picking up and writing more. Even though I got fully fledged as a poet, I think in 2016, and as a spoken word artist in 2017. Yeah. So I eventually, accepted and started nurturing my poetry, and yeah. And it's been amazing to this day, and also submitting my work to poetry journals and magazines, Yeah. And I think the highlight of it was when I was shortlisted for the haiku poetry competition in 2017. That was something, it gave me a whole perspective on what I can be and what I can achieve as a poet. African art is not entirely addressing the issues it needs to address, because I feel that we are more inclined to the Western art. I see it in poetry, Very few poets highlight our issues, but most of it is westernized, I don't want to talk about colonialism in this essence, but it's mostly westernized. We don't articulate or bring out our issues the way we should, like in poetry, in our art forms, and I feel that is lacking for us. That's why our whole narrative is different. I love women's stories. I feel like we have so many stories and there are very few women writers or poets who bring out our stories. So for me, it's something I decided to center on because I want to tell our stories. I want us to change the narrative, to address stereotypes, to address the labels, all the whole perspective and perception of what African woman should be like. So I apply a lot of sexuality in them, yeah, because I want it, because I am addressing myself, and also I want to inspire other women to also speak up, to also share their stories. Yeah, so using me, personalizing me in my poetry is like a step forward to doing that. And yes, and also feminism, because patriarchal society has a way of cocooning women into a certain box, which eventually brings women down. I like to address all these aspects as a woman in poetry, unapologetically, because our stories need to be told. We need to defend the system. We need to voice our opinions. We need to be heard. And about my next project, yes, I have a next project I'm working on. It's Echo Minds Poets. It's a group of female poets. We are 9 poets, female poets. So we write poetry and we bring it to the stage. We dramatize it. We tell the African woman experience on stage. Yeah. So it's for me like like bringing out the essence of the African woman story, and also elevating the woman, letting other women know that we are together, that we rise together. So I have a show coming up, a collaborative effect, I think, in June, and then a show strictly for Echo Minds Poets will be around November. Yeah, and you have to look out for it, because it's going to be amazing, and we are strong performers, we are amazing writers. Yeah, so that's my project currently. The message I want to give to African artists is like to stay true to themselves, and always stay focused on the art and not to deviate, because with art it's easy to deviate and lose the context of what you're doing, and also lose the message. Because for me, I like to quote Nina Simone, art must reflect the times. We have to stay true and tell our story.
I am the proverbial angry black woman, waving the blood-stained banner, cussing out at everyone like the world owes me something. The world owes me nothing. Archetypes of my history are smudged on the walls of public laboratory as a legacy of colonialism and printed on my consciousness. I am a symbol of trauma and degradation. I wear the shroud of shame that Sarah Batman wore when she was being paraded in the freak shows in London and Paris.